Layla sits on the floor with her young daughter. The child holds up a toy, smiling brightly. Layla does not see her. Her face is bathed in cold, digital cyan light. She stares blankly at her smartphone screen. A translucent, glitching digital wall rises between them. It separates the mother from her child completely. The child's smile fades into confusion and sadness. Layla remains frozen behind her glowing glass prison. Layla moves with quiet efficiency through her modern kitchen each bustling morning. Sunlight streams softly through Venetian blinds, casting warm, striped patterns across the polished wooden floor. She meticulously prepares a nutritious breakfast, her hands moving with practiced, loving care. Her phone rests innocently on the sleek countertop, playing a beneficial Islamic podcast in the background. It seems like a helpful, productive companion, seamlessly integrated into her active daily routine. She carefully packs vibrant, deep emerald-colored lunchboxes for her family, ensuring every detail is perfect. Her husband, Yusuf, enters the kitchen, his face relaxed, pouring himself a rich, dark coffee from the machine. They exchange a quick, warm, and genuine morning smile, a silent acknowledgement of their shared life. The entire atmosphere feels cozy, harmonious, and very functional, reflecting a well-managed home. Layla genuinely believes she is managing everything perfectly, balancing the demands of home, her faith, and her personal interests with grace. The phone, at this stage, is merely a useful tool, an extension of her efficiency. It connects her to necessary information and the outside world without demanding her full, undivided attention. She feels entirely informed, remarkably efficient, and largely in control of her life's rhythm. Later in the vibrant afternoon, Layla sits comfortably in the family living room. Her lively young daughter, Amina, plays joyfully on a soft, plush burgundy rug surrounded by colorful building blocks. The room itself is bathed in a warm, inviting glow from several strategically placed golden lamps, creating a haven of peace. Layla makes a sincere promise to Amina, her eyes sparkling, to help build a magnificent block tower together very soon. She sits down on the rug, truly intending to engage fully with her precious child in that moment. Her phone is tucked away in her dress pocket, vibrating softly with an incoming message, but she consciously chooses to ignore it at first, focusing her gaze on Amina. The pure, unblemished connection between them feels bright and utterly untainted by digital interference. Amina giggles delightedly, extending a small, colorful block towards her mother's outstretched hand. Layla's heart feels profoundly full and deeply content in this shared, present moment of innocent play. She genuinely intends to be a fully present and attentive mother, giving Amina her undivided focus. The subtle pull of digital distraction has not yet managed to take over their precious time completely. A beautiful, serene peace still gracefully resides within their shared, sacred space. Suddenly, a loud and insistent notification ping echoes sharply through the quiet, peaceful room. It brutally shatters the fragile serenity of their happy playtime, an unwelcome intruder. Layla's hand moves with an instinctive, almost unconscious urgency directly to her pocket, a reflex now deeply ingrained. "I will just check it quickly," she rationalizes to herself, a common internal monologue of reassurance. She pulls out the phone, and its screen immediately glows with a harsh, artificial brightness. The room's previously warm, inviting golden lamplight seems to noticeably dim, overshadowed by the intense digital cyan screen light now dominating her face. Her eyes instantly lock onto a seemingly meaningless group chat message, pulling her full attention. Amina, holding up a colorful block, waits patiently for her mother's promised interaction. Layla offers only an absent-minded nod, her gaze completely fixed on the screen, not truly looking at her child. The unfinished block tower remains abandoned on the burgundy rug, its potential joy forgotten. The subtle yet significant shift from physical, present engagement to digital, distant distraction has regrettably occurred. Precious minutes then relentlessly turn into a long, silent, and emotionally distant half-hour. Layla is still physically sitting on the comfortable rug, her body present in the room with Amina. However, mentally, her consciousness is miles away, deeply engrossed in the vast, consuming world of cyberspace. Her body posture has visibly closed off slightly, a subtle barrier forming. She is hunched over the glowing small screen, her entire focus absorbed. Amina, now feeling neglected, gently pulls at Layla's sleeve, a desperate plea for her mother's attention. Layla, without ever lifting her eyes from the screen, gently brushes her daughter's small hand away. "Just a second, honey," she murmurs automatically, her voice lacking genuine warmth. She completely fails to see the profound disappointment and hurt now etched on Amina's innocent face. The child, sensing the irreversible shift, quietly returns to playing alone, her previous joy subtly diminished. The mother is physically present, yet, tragically, her vital, emotional, and mental self has completely vanished. The room now feels distinctly colder and more detached, despite the presence of the warm golden lamps, a heavy silence descending. Amina, in a burst of spontaneous, childish joy, does something incredibly adorable and genuinely funny. Layla's immediate, ingrained reaction is to instinctively grab her phone, a reflex more powerful than genuine participation. She swiftly opens the camera application, intent on capturing the fleeting moment. Tragically, she watches her daughter's precious action unfold solely through the small, detached screen of her device. She is not truly witnessing it with her own eyes, experiencing the raw emotion firsthand. Her focus shifts entirely to framing, lighting, and zooming perfectly, prioritizing the digital capture over the living experience. She even asks Amina to do it again, pleading with her child to recreate the pure, unscripted joy purely for the camera's sake. The beautiful spontaneity of the genuine moment dies instantly, replaced by an artificial demand. Amina looks profoundly confused, her natural joy visibly fading from her innocent face. Layla, oblivious to this, is already busy posting the carefully edited video online, rushing to share it. She meticulously adds trending stickers and catchy captions to the social media story, missing the irreplaceable real smile for a fleeting digital copy. Evening descends upon the home, casting long, deep, midnight blue shadows across the inviting living room. Layla and her husband, Yusuf, sit side by side on their comfortable sofa, yet a growing emotional chasm separates them. Yusuf attempts to share the intricate details of his demanding workday, seeking connection and understanding. Layla, however, is deeply engrossed in her phone, meticulously editing photos from the afternoon's playtime. She offers only a series of monosyllabic, absent-minded answers. Uh-huh. Really? Her tone distant and uninterested. Yusuf slowly stops talking, his voice trailing off, looking at her with a profound sadness in his dark eyes. He sees a harsh, artificial blue reflection of the screen dancing hypnotically in her glazed-over eyes. He feels utterly, completely alone in the very same room with her, a chilling realization. He stands up quietly, his movements slow and deliberate, and leaves the room without a word. Layla remains utterly oblivious. She does not even bother to look up or acknowledge his departure. The oppressive silence between them is heavy, thick, and profoundly isolating. She is completely ensnared, trapped within the endless feedback loop of her digital world, unable to escape. Layla eventually succumbs to exhaustion, falling deeply asleep on the living room couch, her phone still clutched firmly in her hand. She then enters a vivid, terrifying, and profoundly symbolic dreamscape, a direct reflection of her waking reality. In her dream, she is back in her familiar living room, but it is now eerily dark, consumed by a thick, swirling, deep midnight blue fog that clings heavily to the floor. Through the swirling mist, she sees her beloved husband and daughter, Yusuf and Amina, playing together happily, bathed in a warm, inviting golden light that contrasts sharply with her surroundings. Layla instinctively runs towards them, her heart pounding, laughing and calling out their names with desperate urgency. But her path is brutally blocked. She crashes hard into something cold, invisible, and utterly impenetrable. A thick, seamless glass wall, shimmering faintly, has completely separated her from her family. She frantically bangs on the unyielding glass, screaming their names with all her might. They cannot hear her. Tragically, they do not even look up. They continue playing, happy and content, but completely unaware of her desperate presence, her agonizing isolation. Layla gazes in horror at the transparent barrier that brutally blocks her from her beloved family. The cold, unyielding glass wall then terrifyingly transforms before her eyes. It is actually a gigantic, monstrous phone screen. It vividly displays her own meticulously curated social media profile feed, a cruel irony. Her seemingly perfect posted moments, filtered and edited, now physically block her from experiencing her real, authentic life. She sees her own distorted, anguish-filled reflection staring back from the vast, dark glass. In this chilling reflection, she perceives herself terrifyingly wrapped in glowing digital cyan chains, which pulsed with an almost sinister energy. Her very mouth is symbolically taped shut with a constantly flashing notification bar, silencing her real voice. The crushing realization hits her with full force. She has tragically built this very wall herself, brick by digital brick. Every mindless scroll, every endless hour consumed, added another impenetrable layer to this self-made digital prison. She is merely watching her life unfold, a passive observer, tragically not living it. The profound despair of total, utter isolation washes over her, an unbearable weight. She collapses against the cold, hard screen, openly weeping, utterly broken. Layla jolts awake with a sudden, sharp gasp, her heart pounding furiously against her ribs. The dream's terrifying images still burned vividly in her mind, a stark and brutal mirror of her reality. The living room is now dark and utterly silent around her, the lingering chill of her nightmare still palpable. Her phone screen, still clutched in her hand, has mercifully gone completely black, its seductive glow extinguished. She looks down at the inert device with a profound sense of horror and deep disgust. The dream's searing message, a painful but meaningful spiritual reminder, resonates with absolute clarity in her mind. She realizes with chilling certainty that she is slowly, tragically, becoming a mere spectator in her own precious life, a silent observer of her family's joy. She quietly creeps into Amina's dimly lit room, moving with the utmost tenderness, just to check on her sleeping daughter. She watches her innocent child sleeping peacefully, bathed in the soft, pure light of the nightlight. Tears of overwhelming guilt and deep remorse stream silently down Layla's face, a cleansing torrent. She whispers a heartfelt, sincere prayer of profound forgiveness to Allah SWT, her voice barely audible. In that sacred moment, she vows with unwavering determination to relentlessly break this insidious, invisible glass wall down. The very next morning, Layla, driven by her powerful spiritual awakening, takes immediate and decisive action. She thoughtfully finds a small, intricately carved decorative wooden box, usually used for keepsakes, in the hallway. With a newfound sense of purpose, she places it prominently on a high, accessible shelf, a symbolic gesture of separation. She then purposefully takes her smartphone, its presence now feeling like a burden, and places it inside the wooden box, firmly closing the lid. The physical separation from her device feels immediate, palpable, and profoundly strange to her accustomed habits. Her hand twitches involuntarily, wanting to check the time, a notification, or perhaps the weather, a deeply ingrained reflex. She feels an unwelcome spike of acute anxiety and overwhelming boredom, a direct symptom of digital withdrawal. The entire house suddenly feels unusually quiet, unnerving without the constant hum and background noise of digital distractions. She must now confront the uncomfortable reality of her own restless, agitated mind, devoid of its usual digital pacifier. She recites Astaghfirullah, I seek forgiveness from Allah, repeatedly, a soothing mantra to calm her anxious nerves and center her thoughts. She deliberately forces herself to walk into the bustling kitchen, device-free and fully present. The ensuing struggle is intensely internal, profoundly mental, and very, very real, a true spiritual battle. Layla sits comfortably on the soft burgundy rug with Amina again, a scene now transformed by intention. This time, her pockets are noticeably and completely empty, a deliberate act of disconnection. Amina, her innocent eyes full of playful expectation, hands her mother a colorful building block, subtly testing her regained presence. Layla takes it, her gaze unwavering, looking deep into Amina's trusting, bright eyes, making full, genuine eye contact. She smiles warmly and engages fully, completely and wholeheartedly in the joyful game of building. Together, they meticulously construct a magnificent, tall tower, their shared laughter echoing loudly and joyously through the room. Amina's precious face lights up with pure, unadulterated joy, her happiness unmarred by any digital interruption. There is no camera recording this sacred moment. Instead, a cherished, real memory is forming, uncaptured but deeply experienced. The room now feels wonderfully filled with a warm, golden noor, divine light, emanating from their sincere connection. Layla feels the profound, undeniable difference of truly being present, fully immersed in the moment. Her heart feels immeasurably lighter, deeply connected to her child, and finally, truly at peace. She understands this genuine, loving engagement is a beautiful act of worshiping Allah SWT through nurturing her child. Dinner time transforms into a cherished ritual, a scene of restored intimacy and connection. The once omnipresent phones are now safely tucked away in the decorative wooden box, a symbol of their renewed priorities. Layla sits across from her husband, Yusuf, at the family dining table, her full attention dedicated solely to him. She thoughtfully asks about his demanding day, listening intently and truly, deeply hearing his words, a stark contrast to her previous absent-mindedness. He looks visibly surprised, then relieved, and finally genuinely happy, his dark eyes sparkling with appreciation. Their conversation flows freely and deeply, reminiscent of the early days of their marriage, before digital distractions took hold. The rich burgundy accents of the dining room feel wonderfully warm and inviting, no longer overshadowed. The cold, artificial cyan light of screens is completely banished from their intimate table space. They share their ideas, their subtle fears, and lighthearted jokes, connecting on a profound emotional level. The invisible wall has completely shattered. The bridge between their hearts is beautifully rebuilt. Layla realizes with crystal clarity that genuine, undivided attention is truly the rarest and most precious form of love. She is finally giving this profound charity, this selfless devotion to her beloved family, honoring her sacred bonds. A single, harmonious, and exquisitely composed image depicts the beautifully transformed household reality. The simple wooden box, now a symbol of intentionality, rests peacefully on a high shelf, holding the once dominant phones. In the foreground, Layla is engrossed in reading a physical book, its pages illuminated by natural light, her posture relaxed and focused. Her husband, Yusuf, is joyfully engaged in active, imaginative play with Amina on the soft burgundy rug, their laughter filling the serene space. The entire scene is bathed in abundant, natural, warm sunlight, which floods through large windows, creating an atmosphere of vibrant life and gentle peace. This warm, inviting glow contrasts sharply and beautifully with the dark, blue, and isolating tones of the opening scenes, highlighting the profound positive change. The atmosphere within their home is now palpably calm, deeply grounded, and spiritually alive. There is a palpable sense of divine blessing, Barakah, permeating their shared, present time, enriching every moment. Technology now clearly occupies its rightful, humble place, no longer demanding to be at the center of their lives. The loving family is undeniably the focus, thriving beautifully under the ever-watchful sight of Allah SWT. Layla looks gently, yet firmly, directly into the camera lens, her expression exuding warmth, sincere invitation, and deep, hard-earned wisdom. Her eyes reflect a profound understanding of her journey and a compassionate desire to guide others. Our precious families deserve far more than merely our leftover, fragmented attention. Our innocent children desperately need our undivided eyes, not just the fleeting blue reflections of our screens. Truly, genuine presence in every moment is a beautiful and elevated form of worship, ibadah, and profound charity. The greatest, most invaluable gift you can ever bestow upon your loved ones is your full, unwavering focus. I urge you now, put the device away, take a deep breath, and courageously look up today. See the countless blessings Allah SWT has lovingly placed right in front of you, waiting to be appreciated. Make the conscious choice to shatter the intrusive screen between us. Choose to be here, truly, deeply here, for those who matter most. May Allah SWT grant us the strength to prioritize our deen and our loved ones above all else. Ameen.